And like clockwork, GMTV show 119. Hey guys, how you doing? GMTV 119.
Groovy.
How's it going?
Groovy. Yeah, I had the beige background, this background, and
It's very, well, actually, I feel a little nauseous when I look at it, but it's just the
no, that's
contrast,
the
I think,
shirt. Do,
between,
do I
yeah.
clash? Am I
Yeah.
clashing with my abstract painting?
Yeah, that's like, what is that behind? Is that a cityscape?
The cityscape.
Ah,
Looks
okay.
almost like Red Grooms. You ever know Red
Yeah.
Grooms, the artist Red
No.
Hmm.
Grooms?
What's
Hmm.
that?
He had a moment. He had a moment in like the 80s or 90s. But
Hmm. Hmm. Well,
unlike,
I have literally nothing in back of me.
You have a gray that
Yeah,
can be black or gray or
yeah,
white or
yeah.
whatnot.
I was so psyched. I had everything in the living room set up in this whole new scheme, and I like gotten this bookcase and got all like books because you have to have books in it that makes you look smart. And I picked out the
Right.
books and put them just the way. I literally spent like the last 2 weeks setting this up and cameras and extra lights and so on. And I sit down to do a sound check and like an hour ago, and there's all this traffic noise in the background because I'm
Oh.
right next to a major road.
So what'd you
So
do? You like
like,
moved in the
so
back room?
I had to tear it all down and set it up in my back room here, which is
Wow.
in the darkness. So I'm back in space again.
Wow.
Next week I'll do Rocket Man just for the sake of it.
What's going to happen? We need to do
So
noise reduction or something so
yeah,
you can set up where you want to.
it would be. I would love that, man. There's a much bigger room out there than it is in here.
Wow. So
I
Bill
would think
Loman, you spent the day at the beach now. Like it's calming down a little bit the summer, the craziness.
um, it's got equal measures of. There haven't been as many people there whole summer. It's been the weather. Unlike last year, there was a crap load of rain. I mean, last year it
Right.
was
I
almost
remember.
it was almost September before you had two nice days in a row. I mean, literally, it rained all the time. This year, it's just been hot, and
Crazy.
the undercurrent of the whole thing is that the demographic, for example, of Rowayton has changed. If you were capable of buying a home in Rowayton in 2019, 2020,
Right.
2021, 2022, and keep your friggin' apartment in New York,
Yeah.
you are not going to be that impressed by Little Bailey Beach. You are in Nantucket. You are in the
That's
Vineyard.
true.
You are
Right.
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
on eastern Long Island. Like you're somewhere else. And
Yeah.
everybody who lives in Roway, and I lived there for 25 years, but everybody who lives there, they think that there's, some higher order of something straight off the Mayflower and, somehow richer, deeper, more connected to something.
Hmm.
And
Right.
fact is, none of that's true. The fact is, it's just about this, and other than that, that's all that separates us from the beast.
Hmm.
It's like
That's right.
a wad.
And so
Yeah.
what? So they don't go to Bailey Beach. They go to the Hamptons and they go to Long Island.
And there are two private clubs that flank the beach. And one is Weburn, which also has like a golf component, like in northern Darien or
Right.
something. They have a
Right.
golf component there, and then they have the beach component, and then next to us is Roten Point, where many of us have played gigs there. It's a great place to play a gig.
Right.
But those are options. It costs you $25 for a car sticker for Bailey Beach. It probably costs you 125 large to get into either those other two things. And some people rent their shares. They rent their things out. It's almost like a condo kind of thing.
Right.
And so that's attractive. They have pools as well as the sound. They have other things. They have some.
Hmm.
Roten Point has sailing. That's awesome. It's like
Wow.
we don't have much in the way of activities unless you call me chasing geese off the beach like entertainment, which
Hmm.
there are many
But you
people
get the
who do
Long
it.
Island Sound. So is Bailey Beach less nice, as nice, or more nice than Weburn, for example?
The most marvelous piece of fairness in the universe is it is exactly the same.
There it is.
We share a contiguous piece of shorefront. There's nothing different about theirs, and they're very kind people there. The guy who is kind of my equal there, he brings the big time sand sifter and does the whole beach. It's
Wow.
not very long,
Yeah.
the beach. Both
Like
put
the
them
whole
both
acre.
together, and it's not very long,
Mm-hmm.
and they're nice enough to do that. They provide that courtesy, but I always go to sleep just a little bit happier at night knowing that our beach is the same as their beach.
Yeah, but they don't want the commoners showing up with pitchforks and torches at the town hall, like, hey guys, you're down that waterfront, that's over.
Well, I think that they circumvent the litigious part of the Fairfield County coast because they're a private entity.
Right.
I'm not sure. I don't know if do regular citizens have free range rights on things that are basically private property.
Well, I mean, my favorite is Michael Moore, right? Back in whatever happened to Michael Moore, right?
Yeah, he was like always in people's faces. Yeah.
He had a show called TV Nation. I'm sure you
Yeah.
know this. Or he had a show called TV Nation, and he shows up. He goes down to the Bowery in New York, and he picks up a bunch of homeless people, and he it's a shelter, and he says, "You want to go to the beach in Greenwich? It's like a luxury, air conditioned, 50-seater high bus, whatever." And they show up at the guard shack at Todd's Point in Greenwich,
Yep.
and they're like, "We'd like to go to the beach, please." And the 16-year-old girl in there's like, I think I have to call my manager. And the police come, and the police helicopter shows up, and so they back out, and they go to Stamford, where they've chartered a boat in anticipation of this, and they sail the boat from Stamford to Todd's Point. And then all the homeless people jump into rafts and start paddling to shore, right? They're like paddling to shore. And the police are lined up, elbow to elbow at the high tide line. And they're like, "You may not pass," right? The people are holding their children, like, oh, the homeless people. And then eventually that resulted in, now you can go to Todd's Point and be like, I'm from New Jersey. I want to have my ticket. Here it is, right?
Yeah.
That's a good story, but that isn't actually what opened the beaches up.
What
But it
did?
did happen at Todd's Point.
Yeah.
It was literally one guy who was jogging. Okay, so he's jogging, and I used to live in Greenwich, and I would park my car in Old Greenwich and jog to the beach, come around and come back. But this one guy was jogging, and he wasn't a resident. He was from Stamford, but he was also a lawyer. And
Okay.
if the person at the gate had just said, because there's nothing, the Pilgrims called it Elizabeth's Neck. It's just, it's an isthmus, and it just, you go out, you come back, like there's no mischief to be done when you're sitting there wearing running shorts, and it's kind of obvious what you're there for. All they had to do was let him in, and maybe this would have happened anyway at some point, but they wouldn't let him in. And he's the guy that started the litigation. And
Great.
and the thing, like Michael Moore would do it as a provocateur, but the truth is, it was one guy, and had they let him in, it probably still would have happened, because it's
Somebody
an interesting case, And I don't know what the deal is with Weeburn. Can anyone go on Weeburn? Can anyone?
Up to the high tide line, you can. You can go down on your beach, but I don't even think I'm allowed to go to your beach, am I?
Well, you happen to know people in high places there,
No. I mean, besides corruption.
No, you could,
Graft.
but you have to pay. And I mean, frankly, you could bring, George Clinton in Parliament to Todd's Point, and all they have to do is pay for the car.
Oh, how much is it? How much is it?
It's probably at Greenwich. It's probably $50.
Oh yeah, Greenwich. Yeah. What about your beach? Can I?
It's
do that?
30. It's like 30, except
worth it.
except on concert days, which are Sundays. We have concerts there sometimes, and that there's more of a premium on that. But if you do the math, if you got 5 people in your car and you come to you come into a beach, I just find the whole thing is kind of, I'm an ocean guy. I'm not a sound guy. I grew up on the sound. I like the sound. It's pretty and it's all that. But I need some waves. I need some.
Oh, I agree. I used to pity the Connecticut people, right? So I grew up in Westchester County, which is over there, right? Westchester County. But Westchester County people in my day, we didn't come to Connecticut. maybe if you were from Portchester, you'd come to Greenwich or whatever.
Right.
But you wouldn't, like, if you're from Bedford, you wouldn't necessarily come to Stamford. You'd go to White Plains if you wanted to go shopping, or you'd go to New York City. Yeah. There was something about that line, like we're working across.
You wouldn't cross
and my mom used to take me to Long Beach and Jones Beach, but mostly Long Beach.
Yeah.
And she would take me down there, and I remember going down the hutch and, we're going to the beach. And then, but one time she decided to take me to Connecticut, and I bet you, I'm trying to remember what it was. It might have been Sherwood Island.
Well, if it's a public, it's a public. In those days, you would have had to be like Sherwood Island or Hammonasset or
and
something.
She took me, and I remember walking down to the beach, and I was like, "This isn't sand. These are like rocks, and it's muddy, and there's no waves. Like, what kind of crazy, lousy beach is this?" She's
that's all. If you've been anywhere else than Long Island Sound, the beaches, if you're a kid, are like, is this a beach? Are you kidding me? It's the only, except Todd's Point. Todd's Point is really beautiful at low tide. If you're a little kid.
Well, I mean, Todd's Point has that low tide sand, which is great. Campo has that. I've never been to the beach in Fairfield, but it looks like it's a nice beach. I've never been to it, but if you have like that kind of low tide sand, that's awesome. You play Kadima, you do things on, that's great. Right. Like that's not what we have. But we when our things comes down, then the geese are like, oh, algae, yay, and it's like, it's not,
green uncontrolled green algae.
See, this is what I complain about is that I believe somewhere deep down, I believe you should not get to own the beaches. Like the town shouldn't get to own the beaches, and that there should be. In other words, that should be a public thing. If you're from Weston, I remember I lived in Weston. Like, can't come to the Westport. You could pay extra $150 and get a beach sticker, but you can't go to the pool, and you can't. It's like, come on,
Well, what is it? There are a couple of communities, and I don't know if Weston is one of them. Doesn't Weston have an arrangement with Westport?
Yeah, but you pay more. It's okay, but like if you live in Wilton, nope, can't come to the beach. Like what?
That's that's a lot of the people that go to Roten Point. They're looking for a pied-à-terre on the Sound, and that's that's where they come from. The Greenwich would be more than happy to privatize Todd's Point and pay for everything and not have any any taxpayers other than Greenwich residents pay for, they'd be good with that. For people who are like, well, it's our taxpayer, the Greenwich, if it came down to money, so somebody along the way agreed with you, and somebody along.
Well, you know what? In Westport, this is a funny thing. In Westport, people come by train from the city, and then they get a cab, and the cab drops them off outside the gate, and they can walk on the beach, and they can go to the beach as long as you don't park a car. In Greenwich, a local resident is not allowed to bring a friend. They have to go to the town hall and get a guest pass.
That is, and I mean, Greenwich,
absolutely insane.
Either to their credit or to make them more despicable, Greenwich, that is such a hurdle to get over, to go to town hall to get your thing, because also town hall's not open on the weekends. So
and it's on the opposite side of town from the beach, from Todd's Point. It's nowhere near Todd's Point.
Yeah, it's the old world of there's we few that have the privilege and the, it probably shouldn't be.
I think it would be.
By the way, Will, you say, the town hall's on the other side of the thing. Like for people who grew up in Riverside, as I did, like Riverside and Old Greenwich, we never, ever, ever refer to ourselves as Greenwich, like ever. Right. Like it never happens. And I'm pretty sure people in Coscob are the same way. They don't, unless that's their whole point for living there, which in most cases early on it was not, and to me, we were proud of our neighborhoods. We were proud of our thing. And, it was very freaking different. And, Greenwich was like downtown Greenwich and back Greenwich. And back Greenwich was like Round Hill Road, Lake Avenue, North Street.
Yeah, back where there's
fancy Greenwich.
And downtown was like sort of, kind of honky tonk, it was like, it's where you would go to have mischief, like you would go there and have fun, and movie theaters and that kind of thing.
Right. So an upscale Portchester.
There you go.
Upscale Devil's Town.
That is what I'm calling it from now on. I have a gig at upscale Portchester.
No, if you want to really pay props to Portchester, you call it West Belhaven.
Right.
West Belhaven.
Just the name of it alone is like.
Back in the day, we called it Sin City. You know, it was called Sin City because it was open. You know, it had the New York drinking age and
and Mario Orlando playing. You know,
that's exactly right.
my God. All right, play a song, and during your set, you have to play something from Woodstock, and I'll tell you why after this song.
Ooh, that could be tough here. This is not from Woodstock. I wish I was a millionaire, play rock music, roll on hair. Didn't tell you boys I'd buy a new Rolls Royce. This is about Greenwich. Pretty people come to me, give them all the third degree. I'd give them satin sheets and keep them off the streets. Hallelujah, let me sock it to you. Praise the Lord, pass the mescaline. Praise Jehovah, and he'll come over as soon as you see me boogie woogie across the silver screen. Hang 'em high, hang 'em low, leave 'em on the ceilings wherever I go. Swing all night from the rafter light. Hallelujah, what's it to you? You got your coffee, me, I got my Spanish tea. Praise Jehovah, maybe he'll come over as soon as you hear me playing my calliope. I wish I was a millionaire, play rock music, grow long hair. I tell you boys, I buy a new Rolls Royce. I tell you boys, I buy a new Rolls Royce. I tell you boys, I buy a new Rolls Royce.
That was great. What is that?
That's good. Yeah.
That is a song by a real good songwriter who had, I don't know if he had more than one album. His name was Willis Allen Ramsey.
Wow.
And if you're looking for a
Sounds
song that like people know, he wrote the song Muskrat Love that Captain
Oh
Tennille-
God!
Wow.
Oh no! Oh no! 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 Please,
Yeah,
my
he wrote-
ears.
he
Can you
wrote
take
that.
it out? Please, just take it out.
No, but he's a really good songwriter, and that's a funny song.
Muskrat Love. Oh my
Yeah,
God!
that's a funny song. That is a really cool song.
It's like, what were they thinking? I'm sorry.
Well, you got something against muskrats? Come on.
That's great. All right, I'll tell you my Woodstock story. So okay, so you didn't go to Woodstock, did you? I'm too young to go to Woodstock. Did you go?
I went.
You went.
I was at the real Woodstock. I quit my landscaping job in Greenwich.
Great.
I worked for the only Irish landscaper in Greenwich. Everybody else ended in the vowel, and quit the job and went to Woodstock on the Thursday night. Before the concert started on Friday, and it was an amazing time, honestly, to see. You didn't think of yourself in history, and you didn't think of like that kind of stuff, but just to see so many kind of like-minded people. Nobody's. It was so naive and early in the process of everything, and ironically, that same summer of '69, it all went to hell in a handbasket. Like that glow lasted. It was so
Second, right?
At that moment in time,
Yeah.
that later on, you got Altamont, you got like,
Right.
it all went
That
south.
was the
like,
end of the '60s. Yeah.
big hurt, and keep in mind, Woodstock was '69. In San Francisco, the whole thing ended in '67. So
Right.
it hadn't even hit us yet. And you met these people at Woodstock who had like, ponytails down to the middle of their back. And you were getting shit from your principal because your hair was beginning to touch your ears,
Yeah.
Right.
And then I went to school in '69, and when I came back, I had my hair down in the middle of my back. But it was like, we were fledglings, in that whole thing. We weren't there yet. But I mean, music, I didn't have great great seats or standing places for anything, except the Saturday, which put me in a really good position to really absorb Santana. And I have to say, that blew my mind because, we're friggin', what do we know about Latin? We're, like Carmen Miranda and the theme for I Love Lucy, like
Right.
other than
I
that,
was just thinking Desi Arnaz.
yeah, I mean, we didn't really know that much, like, Tito Puente might have been a name you heard, but you didn't. It wasn't like my parents were playing that at home, like it was, but that blew my mind, I have to say. There were a few bands, they blew my mind. Sly and the Family Stone blew my mind. Most of the other big bands I'd already seen. I'd already seen them at Fillmore East or whatever. But another band that blew my mind was actually Creedence Clearwater, who I had somewhat dismissed as kind of a singles band, like they didn't have a linear guitarist, like he was a little more rootsy and a little more, it's more like that kind of stuff as opposed to Sunshine of Your Love, or something like that, And so I dismissed it, and I was obviously wrong. And also, it just dawned on me when they played. It was kind of misty. It was at night, and you're hearing this swamp rock stuff. Forget the fact they come from from Northern California, but you're hearing like this swamp rock stuff, and it's just kind of like, wow, now I get it. And it was kind of before Americana was a phrase or anything else, and had a little bit of that going on for it. It was
All
great.
right, so let me ask you a question. How did you get there?
Jeffrey Hobart, my friend Jeff Hobart, somehow had his parents, his mom's like piece of crap baby blue Ford station wagon. And keep in mind, like, Route 19 or whatever it is, it was 2 lanes. Now, I went back there about maybe 5 years ago, and I brought my kids. We were on our way to something else like near Monticello, but I went there with my kids, and I just said, here was the thing, and here was the thing, and there was my campsite was there, and the little church that was where the campsite was still there, and we had a water pump there, which made our campsite like awesome.
Yeah.
And much of the rest of it was vaguely familiar, but obviously what was different was trees. The trees had really grown, so what was farmland and kind of flatted out, like suddenly it was, but other than that, it looked kind of the same, and so we went in that thing, and we went up there on Thursday, just parked it like by the side of the road, fuck it, and just.
Did you have a ticket?
I don't remember having a ticket, but I might have. I just know there was nobody to give it to,
was there were there gates? Was there?
They didn't have time to build the gates. They screwed up.
Yeah, that all just kind of fell apart. Yeah.
Yeah,
the darker side.
That whole thing went loose like in a hurry, but frankly, it was, as a social experiment, it was about as good as it would ever get for anybody at any time. It was, there were, people, unlike-minded people helping each other and caring about each other and doing so. I'm not trying to blow it into something more than it was, because like I said, in a month later, if you probably went to Watkins Glen, you were probably doing amphetamines and, like somebody stole your wallet, but at this particular time, it was, it was naive and fun and sweet, it was like, it was just,
It was interesting.
All right, so for the purposes of my story, which I buried the lead on my story,
yeah.
Will Baird, I don't want Bill Norman, I'm going to mute you, Bill Norman. Will Baird, where did Woodstock take place?
It took place in, where, New York? I want to say Hillsdale, New York, but that was like a horrible folk festival.
I always thought, I knew that it was supposed to be in Woodstock, but then it got messed up. And so I thought they did it in Saugerties, New York, right? Or I thought it was somewhere up near Woodstock, New York, right?
Yeah.
And so last week I was talking to somebody and they said, Woodstock happened in Bethel, New York. Bethel? And I was like, Bethel, New York? I was like,
really?
Maybe I've heard of it. Did you know that, Will Baird?
Bethel sounds too suburban to me. I could have sworn that it was a farmer in a town next door to Woodstock when something
Okay,
fell through
I
who went,
thought
"You
this.
can use my
Thank God.
farm."
All
Yeah,
right, you're my
yeah,
sanity check because I
yeah,
thought I was losing my mind. It
yeah,
turns out that Bethel is just north of where I am. Like it's
yeah.
in my neighborhood where I am in Pennsylvania. You go north and a little
Mhm.
bit to the east, and you get to Bethel, and they have a beautiful, as Bill Noman knows, he's like dying. He's like, oh my God, they have a beautiful performing arts center there now called Bethel Woods, and it's phenomenal. And I went there on Sunday night, which is the 53rd anniversary of Woodstock, or right around this week, and I saw Carlos Santana and Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh
Funny,
my God.
funny.
And Santana was up there talking about how stoned he was at Woodstock and how good it was to be there. But it's literally, they built it right next to the site where the original Woodstock happened. So it was kind of
Wow.
cool.
Yeah, I mean it's at the top of the hill, kind of. It's because the stage. If you look at that big thing, the stage was down at the bottom of the hill,
Right.
and where they built both the performing center and the museum or whatever they call it.
Yep.
That's up top. I felt that the museum was a little disappointing because I wanted it to be a deep dive into Woodstock. And I found that it spent a little time trying to somehow encapsulate the 60s. And that's always a losing game. And I just wanted them to get really granular on
Yeah.
stuff there.
Yeah.
I went to a Bill Graham thing at the New York Historical Society on Central Park West. And they had stuff there that was like stuff that was in his office when his office burned down. And they had granular stuff that I hadn't seen. And yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff, but it was like at that place, it was just too, it was, I just wanted to see more really deep dish shit, here's the, I don't know, here's the something that Keith
Well,
Moon used before he,
yeah,
blew up on somebody. I don't know.
And like the good, the bad, and the ugly, because there's dark stuff happened at that Woodstock. The Woodstock 1999, the whole thing was dark. It was like they had all the bad organization, but it also had like bad vibes. It didn't have any of the good vibes
Yeah.
that made people overcome it. So it just became this nightmare.
Well,
very dark.
the funny thing about it basically it was just kind of a perfect storm in the way it was and the time. And one of the funny things is it's kind of like Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game that was witnessed by 100 people in Hershey, Pennsylvania, yet 10,000 say they were there. This thing. I was not there on Monday morning when Hendrix played. Like I was long gone. I was gone.
Right.
I was gone on Sunday. And frankly, we had no sense of mortality. We had no sense of you'll never get a chance to see this person again, because in New York at that time, they were playing all the time. It was such a rich, fabulous, accessible time to see music acts that you never sat there and went like, oh my God, what if Jimmy dies? Or, oh my God, what if this, that wasn't on your, in your consideration set. So to me, it's sticking around for that rather than just, I've had enough. I've been there since Thursday. We had a great time. Met a girl from Boston. Blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Anyway, it was just kind of like, it wasn't that big a deal. We want to go home, and we saw the traffic going in there, and it sounds already like a Progressive commercial, but it was like we wanted to beat the traffic.
Yeah, right.
I'd already seen Joe Cocker. I'd already seen all of these. I'd already seen them.
That's interesting. Yeah, that part never occurred to me. The impression I have of Woodstock is that these bands were like, they became a thing because of Woodstock, but
No.
a lot of them were major groups anyway.
And honestly, people that really made it there, like really blew up there, I would say Santana was one of them, and I'd say Sly and the Family Stone was another one.
Right.
Sly and the Family Stone, who was a multiracial band anyway, and they played at the ultimate white boy thing, kind of, generally, and they killed, and that vaulted them up into another stratosphere. The Who, they were well known. The Airplane, Some people played well. Some people, the Dead had a terrible set. Like some people, the band played there. It wasn't like a classic of theirs. Richie Havens. Okay, there's a guy that blew up because of that thing.
Sure.
And they put him out there,
Yeah.
and they really wanted him to kill some time. Because things had gotten screwed up, and I don't know, Tim Harden was nodding off or something. I don't know what the problem was, but so they wanted him to kill time, and that guy freaking killed. Like he killed. And that made him.
When you say they wanted, I feel like you mean they wanted him to like stretch out his set. Like, can you strum a little slower?
I mean, they literally, that whole Freedom, that song that's very iconic, and it's in the Woodstock movie. This is also too. This is before Richie had done enough jingles to actually buy teeth. So when he sang, part of his inflection that was so interesting, it started freedom. Like he had no teeth. It's like hey, like so. It's sort of like her. Later on, he had his teeth, and then you would hear him and he'd go, "All aboard for Amtrak." Like it would be like that. But he played the thing, and I mean, talk about killing it. And a vibe, and like his, it's like an acoustic guitar and a conga player and maybe another guitar. And
I saw something in the documentary about that song, Freedom, where he said we'd already run through everything we had and we made it up on the spot. Like we just like.
That is what I always heard. Yep. I mean,
wow.
That's called seizing the moment. Like you sit there and it's like, I mean, there was, it was really a great time. It was funny on the poster. I think they said White Lakes, New York, and I know
2 or 3 places they were going to do it, but they kept getting shuffled off to the next place.
Yeah.
There's also great stories. It's easy to research any of this stuff, but there's great stories about the bands that turned it down. What bands made.
Right.
Like the top band was like. Might have been the Who. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
But it was
everybody else got $100 a man, just like we do.
Right. Yeah. Right, exactly.
Right. You're the Keith Hartley band, and you're playing in Woodstock. It's like, believe me, I made more money than that at Woodway last week, I think.
Well, I love the fact that like Crosby, Stills, and Nash didn't know what they were getting into. That they were like, well, we heard there was going to be this big thing, but as we started to get out there and get closer and closer, we started going like, this is really a big thing. Yeah. And they had just formed, and they were like barely getting their harmonies together.
Yeah.
I had no idea what they were getting into. Well, here we heard it's a big gig. Okay, yeah.
It's really cool. So I had no idea either. It just I got sort of swept into it. I didn't even know Woodstock. And now you want to come to Woodstock, come out and see me, and we'll go up and see a show at
That's why I got to look at a map. Like what is the town you live in?
So I'm in Milford, Pennsylvania, and I'm sort of up in the woods outside of Milford. But if you go, pretty much north, you end up at Bethel Woods. It's maybe 40 minutes.
It's wild.
And you're easy to find because you'll be wearing the shirt with the background, so
exactly,
it stands out against the trees and stuff.
You're good. All right, Bill Nolan, play a song. We've been talking about Woodstock too much.
Okay, this again has nothing to do with Woodstock. So. You call me up late, you're loaded and say, can I come talk? I'm thinking no way. You're dumping that God, and when he asked why, I bet you said, hey, if you're ready or not, you change your mind. You decided maybe that it wasn't your type. Told him you'd change your mind, but it's not my problem, no, not this time. Now wasn't that great? Remember the date? You never showed up and you never explained. You did it again. I'm sorry for him, only too well I remember it when you changed your mind. You decided maybe that I wasn't your type. Baby, you changed your mind, and it knocked me down for quite some time. Do you think I'm blind? Could I be sympathetic for the old times? Baby, you changed your mind, and you said, hey, ready or not, are you ready or not? I'm gone. Ready or not, are you ready or not? Goodbye. Ready or not, are you ready or not? Goodbye. Remember, you changed your mind. You decided maybe that I wasn't your type. Baby, you changed your mind, and you said, hey, ready or not, are you ready or not? Goodbye. Ready or not, are you ready or not? Goodbye.
Nice. Oh, what's that?
Beautiful.
Thank
You're
you.
always so versatile. I don't know how you have so many channels. You got like 200 channels. I got like 10. Mine are good. They're good. They're network. But you
I'm
got 200. 200's
bipolar.
better.
I mean, I think I'm bipolar. I don't know.
Well, they're multipolar, like beyond bi. Like you could be
Beyond by.
quintupolar.
Quasi-polar.
He's not just high and not just low. He goes sideways sometimes on us.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite Stephen Wright jokes. He goes, "The Earth is bipolar."
So where's Stephen Wright?
Stephen Wright, exactly. But he had his moment. And I think he got, like the old comedians. I love the old comedian. Even, yeah, okay. So he was a drug raper. Bill Cosby. I love Bill Cosby's comedy back in the '60s and '70s. And Steve Martin but like when George Carlin started getting older, he started getting really kind of over the top nasty in his comedy. Before it was sarcastic, and as he got older, it became kind of mean. And I was
Dark.
like, goodness gracious, dark. Yeah.
Dark. Yeah.
But I think that's what you do. My life is getting darker as I get older. I'm like, all right, I don't care anymore. I'm just gonna say it.
Same here. Yeah. I'm just gonna say it. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Maybe it goes with age. Steve Martin's got a really interesting book called Stand Up, and it's about his life becoming a stand-up comedian. And he talks about how how comedians develop their persona, and then his persona was basically he was a comedian who didn't know that he wasn't funny. So he's always sort of telling these jokes and stuff, and that was originally his persona. And then and they basically use the audience to develop their material and figure out what works and doesn't work and so on. And eventually, his gigs became like, 10,000, 30,000, 50,000, and he couldn't try out any material anymore because the audiences were so big and so large that exactly, and you couldn't try out a bad joke to see what would happen. Not only that, but you couldn't see the reaction because you couldn't see anybody's faces.
Right.
So it's funny how that each of these people sort of came up and came out, but at some point stopped hearing what the audience was saying. I mean, I can't imagine the audience was going, yeah, George Carlin, be really angry and mad and foul-mouthed. And, I can't see that, being the feedback that he was getting.
Yeah, right.
He was bright, though. I mean, he was like really smart.
Really smart. Yeah.
He's a little bit like Lenny Bruce. Lenny Bruce to me got more bitter than George Carlin did.
Yes.
I think George Carlin just got to the point where he was so preoccupied with making the point that, the humor kind of went in the back thing. And that's the same thing with, Lenny Bruce. He started talking about his court proceedings and stuff. And, it wasn't like, It wasn't ha.
Well, to me, that's what happened to Michael Moore. I was a big Michael Moore fan when he did TV Nation, and even he did some stuff before that and after
His
that.
first movie,
Then he had a hit with this movie with Roger and me. I think it was
Yeah,
one, right?
that was it.
He had a hit with the movie, and then all of a sudden he became the conscious, the conscience of society and this, celebrity voice. And I'm like, nah, I'd rather have him when he was like he leased a gas station in New Jersey, and he called it the Saddam Hussein gas station, and the gas was 25 cents, and people lined up around the block, and it was as Saddam Hussein was attacking Kuwait, and the sign said, all the proceeds go directly to Saddam Hussein. And was like, I don't care, 25 cent gas, who cares,
Look at the price, it's really low.
I liked him when he was like a jerky, outspoken comedian, and then I don't need you to be the president of the United States. I don't need you to be the leader of our souls.
Yeah.
Or the what I don't really like it. I don't like ambush interviews. Like to me,
like this.
To me, buttonholing a guy in the hallway while he's doing, like to me, whether it's him or whoever it is, it's like low hanging fruit. Yeah, the guy's going to look bad because you're buttonholing him in the hallway, and it's just kind of, to me, that, I just feel that's easy. Like it's easy to make somebody look bad if that's what you're doing.
Yeah, right.
But he did good stuff in Michigan for the water cleanliness and that kind of stuff. He did actually. He did. He did some good things, but
it's true.
Everybody,
It's true. Well, Jam TV, that's our motto, our new motto. It's easy to look bad on Jam TV.
People, you wonder how.
Now.
Do we work at it hard? No, we don't. It's this bad naturally.
Maybe we should go to black and white next week just to make things worse.
That would be fun.
I'll do the show in black and white. All right, that's the plan.
We do a show in black and white, and we all wear like a white shirt and a tie.
Or we do a show like Fire.
It's like the 50s or something.
All right, play a song. Come on, let's get it.
I'm going to play a song. This is a song by one of Ed's favorite artists, and it gave me an idea, just for the name of this particular segment, and of course it's Ed, your favorite Tom Waits, but the name of the segment is Tom Waits for No Man. You see what I did there? That's
I
all
like it.
Well, my time went so quickly, I went lickety splitly out to my old 55. As I pulled away slowly, feeling so holy, God knows I was feeling alive. Now the sun's coming up, I'm riding with Lady Luck. Freeway cars and trucks, stars beginning to fade, and I'll leave the parade, just to wishing I'd stayed a little longer. Oh no, the feeling's getting stronger. 6 in the morning, you gave me no warning, I had to be on my way. Now the cars are all passing me, the trucks are all flashing me, I'm headed home from your place. And the sun's coming up, riding with Lady Luck. Freeway cars and trucks, stars beginning to fade, and I leave the parade, just to wishing I'd stayed a little longer. Oh no, it's getting stronger. Time went quickly, I went lickety split out to my old 55. I pulled away slowly, feeling so holy. God knows I'm feeling alive. And the sun coming up, riding with Lady Luck. Freeway cars and trucks, stars beginning to fade, and I miss the parade. Just a wishing I'd stayed a little longer. Oh no, the feeling's getting stronger.
Nice.
And it's got a swing to it that's very cool. Sun coming up.
Yeah, that is a song that I used to play with when Ed Wright and I started playing together and out and stuff. We both played guitar. He was because he's a great guitarist, and that was like one of the first. There's like 2 or 3 songs that were like, God, we've been playing this song forever, and that was one of them. It was, I guess the Eagles did it. Tom Waits did it, and a band called Matthews Southern Comfort did it with a guy named Ian Matthews, who was really kind of a good British kind of guy, and he did that too.
I got an idea actually from something that Ed said before you did the tune, which was we're the show that is just one step lower, and then I suggested Black and White. Are you guys familiar with Fire, with the documentary about the festival that was called Fire, FYRE?
No.
The one that was a complete disaster.
It was a complete, it didn't exist.
Oh, this is the one in Florida where they burned it down, or
the Caribbean.
This kid basically, this kid went out, hired like 20 gorgeous models, brought them to an island of the Caribbean, spent a weekend videoing them frolicking, in their bikinis and so on, and paid them $10,000 each to put ads on their pages, on their Instagram pages, promoting Fire, the next incredible festival. And it was going to be this unbelievable music festival, and it had a lot of buzz at first, and fairly early on, some of the people who he was hiring were going I don't think this guy really quite knows what he's doing, and the whole thing becomes this unbelievable cannonball of a disaster, where they wind up eventually, they promote the whole thing as being luxury jets, and you're going to be eating incredible food in cabanas on this beach, and instead people are eating ham and cheese sandwiches, intense, and there's no bands, and the bands have all pulled out, and
the girls weren't even there.
And and the girls, they were they were too smart to go. We're not going, no way.
That's too much. No bands, ham and cheese. That's one thing, but no girls on top of that.
No girls.
That's
Promise for girls.
No, that was, but it's a little painful actually watching these kids. They're all kind of early to mid 20s, unfortunately dumb enough to pay $5,000 for a ticket to something. To nowhere.
And they have the 5,000 to do it.
They can tell the story. So
yeah, the guy went to jail for a little bit, and I guess while he was on parole, he started marketing a new some sort of new event to the list of people who had attended that event.
Great.
It was evil.
The first one wasn't quite what you expected, but the next one.
We've gotten much better now. Yeah, the guy was absolutely
on our game.
So we could do the GMTV festival.
We're doing it. This is it.
That's right. We're doing it now. Yeah, that's right. This is it, Will. Get with the picture, buddy.
All right, Bill, do one more for us, please.
Okay, I'm going to do a song by Steve Earle.
All right. Oh,
all right. Everybody call her angel, she's no stranger to the devil, I know. There's markers on her body, her fire's burning in her soul. When we're making love, he's laughing at us down below. She's the devil, I know. She's the devil, I know. She's the devil, I know. Said she comes from heaven. Angel is the devil, I know. She's the devil, I know. She's the kind of woman keep you coming back for more. Got the kind of face you swear you've seen someplace before. Could have been your mama, could have been a Mexican whore. She's the devil, I know. She's the devil, I know. She's the devil, I know. Said she comes from heaven. Angel is the devil, I know. She's the devil, I know. Now she drag you straight to hell. I can tell and I think, I just think I go. Devil sent her here to deliver me body and soul. She's the devil, I know. Yeah, and every inch she drags me down. Close to the goal, don't you know I know. Devil's the devil, baby, she's the devil, I know. 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 Angel is the devil, said she come to heaven. Yo, she's the devil, I know. She's the devil, I know. She's the devil, I know. Said she comes from heaven. Angel is the devil, I know. She's the devil, I know. My apologies to Steve Earle.
Great stuff. I love Steve Earle.
I do. I particularly love the line where it's like, got the kind of face you swear you've seen someplace before. Could have been your mama, could have been a Mexican whore.
Love it.
Such a sweet lyric.
I love that.
Brilliant. Good stuff, Bill Norman.
Well, thank you. And, what do you have other people, or is?
Yeah, I got a big rabble of people that are going to come on in a little while after Will Baird.
All right.
I got Dennis Allred put together, a music video, a revision of one of his the olden day COVID lockup collaborative videos.
Cool.
So we get that loaded up and play it. And we still have Will Baird, who's going to play for us.
Will Baird.
Gonna do a couple of tunes. Mom always said life is like a box of chocolates, so is my repertoire.
There, do that song. Do that song. The one that like a box of chocolates.
That's right, like a box.
Go
of
for it, Will.
chocolates.
Play us a song.
Sure. I got this one song on my site, which it just every week several hundred people come and view this song on YouTube.
Wow.
And
Really?
I don't know why, and I don't know where they're coming from. I've got thousands of views on this song, and like a lot less than hundreds on all my other tunes. I kind of feel like, do you mind? Like maybe you could look at the other one. And it's a spiritual, right? Wayfaring stranger, about like, searching for meaning in life. And people have left, there's like dozens of comments below it that are like, God bless you, Will Baird. And like, thank you, you've saved my life, and may the Lord, and I'm like, could you just like view Jolene? I could really use some hits on that, And instead they're watching this. So I don't know. You figure it out. I don't know why they like it.
All right,
So
cool.
this is Wayfaring Stranger.
All right now.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How's it going?
Hey, Dennis, good to see you.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
only
can't hear Ed.
it was
It's
only
just
right.
us two.
Would you say? I'm sorry. I was.
Oh,
I
can't
have
hear
my
Ed.
mic muted.
Well, and
How
I
you doing,
talk
Dennis?
all the time anyway. I
Doing
can't shut up.
great.
So it's
Can't
good to see you,
complain.
smiling face. I
That
was only
sounded
when I
great,
pressed
Boomer.
the. It was only when I pressed the start button on my pedal that I realized I don't have any shoes on. I was in
Oh.
such a
Oh,
rush
and
to
it hurts to
moving.
press the
It's
pedal.
It's like I don't have any shoes on. I don't know where my iPhone is. You know, Ed, if you're like messaging me, I have no idea what you're telling me. um, People could be calling me, you know, and I really things are a little bit, you know, not in control here in the Baird studio, the multi-room.
That's about right for Jam TV. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I'll just take us down another notch. Yeah.
No, that's a great song. You know, it's funny. You know, you say that people come to your site and you don't know where they come from. You know, and it's interesting because I have a lot of people that watch this show and write me, and I'm like, where did you come from? Like, how did you fall into this
Hear
world?
about it.
Yeah, somebody shared it and somebody saw it, and then YouTube maybe push it to you, or Facebook might push it. So you never know where all this comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody played a song on here that they searched the same song.
Right.
I've done that and had a couple Jam TV or our alternate universe ID songs show up on it,
Right.
which is always
I
cool.
find I find it fascinating, the algorithms that are, you know, that pass stuff up to me. There are periods where I keep getting served videos that are fascinating that are not logically, they're not like the same thing I just saw. And then there'll be other periods where they're like stuff that's completely off. You know, high school girls giving advice on makeup, and you know,
I watch
Yeah.
those too.
boys, you know, running track meets. You know, one of the more exciting things.
They're
to watch,
trying
by the
you
way.
on. They're going, let's see if we can hook her in with this piece of something, you know?
Test them out. It's like we'll do an A/B
Don't-
split.
Don't fall asleep with autoplay on. You wake up and it's like, what the heck is this got to do with anything?
Right.
Well,
What
the
am
biggest
I
thing is
Just
looking
keep
at?
going through your list.
The biggest thing is don't put on Jam TV like to see if it works or not in Safari, and then get on the show like us
Right.
in
Yeah.
Chrome,
And
because
it's
suddenly
echoing.
there's two of everything and you don't know where it's coming from. It's
Oh,
coming
yeah.
from Safari from when you opened it up.
Right.
That
why
was
the
one of
other
my
one's
many
on
interesting
these headphones.
foibles. I'm
Yeah,
not sure
it's
that was
true.
the biggest mistake I ever made on the show. Whatever it was off camera. Nobody knows.
The olden days of Jam TV were really touch and go once in a, hit and miss.
Yeah.
The technical stuff was like, you know, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it or not.
Tommy remembers the very, very olden days where we didn't even know how to log on, you know?
That's
Bird
right.
landed
Yeah.
on the wire to take it out.
I'm still not sure how to log on.
How's it going, Tommy?
It's going good. How you doing, Ed? Good to see
Doing
you.
good. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to be seen.
Cool. So, Will Baird, do another
Not
one for
here.
us, would you please?
All right, we'll do.
What do you got?
I got Wonderwall, which is kind of like the new Freebird. It's like play Wonderwall.
I
You know, that's
I
like the
play
new thing.
Freebird now on the ukulele.
Yeah,
I can
that
play. I got a
There you go.
ukulele and I can play Freebird. And one of these days, I'm going to show up somewhere and somebody's going to go Freebird. I'm like, here we go.
We started doing it. We learned the jam from Freebird. Somebody else Freebird would go, "Damn," and then we go right into it. And then
If you ever need a ukulele player, I'm on it. You know.
that'd be fun.
It's just going to be
but
me
can you-
or
can you
Billy
play
Foster
old
that yell
spirituals?
Freebird.
There's always somebody yelling for it. Always
It's
somebody.
true. It's
Always
true.
joking rock and roll, right?
You probably heard my Freebird story. I was at a jam. I was running a jam at an unusual place in South Salem, Le Chateau, fancy French restaurant.
we-
Le
we
Chateau.
did it with Keith's
Welcome.
parents, yeah.
They used to let me do a jam upstairs, and
Yeah.
and so I did that for a while, for a short time before I got into the Willows and the Dock and
Yeah.
Rascal Flats and all that stuff.
Right.
And there was this beautiful girl who showed up at the jam, and
Not
she was
about that.
she was really drunk. She was
Wow.
about 30 and just stunning. And you could tell, I mean, she had the diamond earrings that were worth more than my car, and she was wearing some high fashion clothes, and she, from the neighborhood, and she looked great. but she was really drunk, but very charming when she was drunk. And she said, I have a great idea. I said, what? She said, you guys will play Freebird and I will play drums. And I went, okay, that sounds good. So I asked around. Ray Simonelli was there. All the usual characters were there. And I said, who does? And nobody knew how to play Freebird. Nobody was really sure of all the changes. Not that hard, but there's a couple of weird changes in it. And nobody knew how to sing it, whatever. So I said, all right, here's what I'm going to do. It was too good an opportunity. I said, I'm going to cue it up and play the DJ the song for you, and you'll sit at the drum set and you play drums along with it, right? So she gets on the drum set and she sits down, and the music starts, and her hair is going, and she's playing drums, looks like a rock star. She has never sat at a drum set in her life, never once. She didn't know what to hit. She didn't know that the drum heads are what you hit. She was hitting the stands and the cymbals. So I just cranked it up, and she did this awesome performance. And when it got done, she was like, play it again. We're like, no, we're not playing it again.
No.
And so then she didn't do too much damage. Everybody was having a great time. And we're doing the next thing. And I glance over, and she's standing in the corner with, I know it was Ray and Bob Lamont was there. There were a bunch of people there, right? And what she did was she was like turned around like this, and she pulled down her pants a little bit, and she had a Freebird tattoo on her butt.
Oh,
And she was showing the guys, and I'm like, this is getting really out of control here.
We have to get this woman out of here. Somebody's going to get arrested.
Holy moly. Yeah, so that's my Freebird story. I miss her. Wherever you are, come back.
That's a good Freebird story, the best I've heard.
Just don't play drums again. We'll let you do anything you want, but don't play again.
All right, Will Baird, play Freebird.
All right, yeah, this is the equivalent, the modern day equivalent. Wonderwall.
Wonderwall.
Very nice.
I
Very
know
nice.
a lot of people have the philosophy that, if you make a mistake, just play right through it. And I agree. I totally agree if it's like a mistake that's like
Absolutely.
in key and so on. But if you really fuck it up, I just think you have to laugh because it's like we're all human, I make mistakes, you make mistakes. I'm sorry. I know you paid something for this, but
I didn't hear a mistake. Did you make a mistake?
I didn't.
I didn't hear anything.
I didn't make any, but I just was
Oh,
talking
good.
about it philosophically, philosophically.
That was really pretty guitar work. It sounded like a movie soundtrack. It was really nice. I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had somebody yesterday say to me, "Oh, I love that guy. So what's his name? That guy with the guitar plays some really cool songs." I'm like, "Will Baird?" Like, "Yeah, Will Baird. Yeah, we like him."
It could have been anyone. They could have been talking about anyone.
No, they were
But-
talking about you. I get that all the time, actually. A lot of
awesome.
my viewers in Asia, there's a bunch of viewers in Thailand and the Philippines and Korea. They tell me, "Oh, Will Baird, he's our favorite." I'm like, "Will Baird, really?" No, I'm
He's
just kidding.
the man.
You're internationally famous.
I think it's because of that song "Wayfaring Stranger." That's what's
They
doing
love him in
it.
China. He's the best in China. Everybody in China loves him.
No, it's great. You're a celeb. You're a celeb out there, Will Baird. Everybody knows
Thanks,
you.
Baird
guys.
In Thailand. Rocking in
I'm-
Thailand.
I always think of it always fascinates me the phrase, "He's a legend in his own right." Right? Like, what does that
Legend in his
mean?
own mind.
A legend,
Oh,
I know, a
mind.
legend in his own
I'm a
mind.
legend
We
in
know
my
that,
own
but it's
mind.
like and he's a leader in his own right. He's a whatever. It's like, what does he mean in his own right? Like,
Don't let it go to your head. My cat is more
His corner
famous
of the
than
room.
all of
yeah,
us.
your cat is a cat in his own
He's
right.
more famous than any of us will ever be.
He's certainly more hairy than any of us will ever
That's
be.
true.
He has just become this like hair monster. My God,
Growing and growing and growing
God,
and growing.
he's
He's
this
going to grow
little
for 3
teeny-
more years, I heard. So
it's wow.
that breed keeps growing. So
Yeah.
we'll find it. Do you have one more for us, Wilbert?
Sure. Yeah. I think I can come up with something.
That'd be
I wind up having to do clicks with my toes here instead of my shoes, which are in the other room.
Clicking. Oh yeah, so it hurts because like
with traffic.
So whenever you have like a pedal, right? I'm a keyboard player. I don't want stuff on the ground. I want stuff up
Yeah.
on the keyboard. So I put stuff up on the keyboard, but if you press it with your hand,
Mhm.
the pedals they hurt. Like they're like
Yeah.
by the time you actuate it, it hurts. Like
Mhm.
I gotta figure something out with that.
They don't want
Well,
you to accidentally turn it on.
Are you using a looper pedal and you're pre-recording stuff and then you're playing on top of it?
Yeah, that's what he does.
Yeah. I have to confess, I have some crappy headphones in tonight, so I can barely hear even like my own music.
Okay.
So I
Sounds
apologize,
good
but
out there.
I'm
No worries.
I'm
It's all good.
going to disappear and return with real headphones. I hope, if it works, with a magic trick
There you go.
later on. So it's
All right,
to
well-
make yourself. I don't need a sidekick young woman to disappear. I can just make myself disappear. So,
There you go.
all right, Guns N'
Play
Roses.
another song.
Sorry, yeah, shut up and play. Guns N' Roses. Here we
Dude,
go.
Freebird.
Shut up and play.
Freebird.
Freebird.
Freebird. Very nice. Very
Thank
nice.
you.
Hey, Will, how many songs do you know?
Love
Couple
it.
thousand?
I wish. I've got about 50 recorded.
Hang on, Sherry's calling in from the jam aisle. There
No.
she is.
Hey, there she is.
From the
She's at
dairy.
Stop and Shop.
The
From
jam
the dairy
aisle.
behind her.
Ice cream.
The ice cream aisle. I thought you should go to the jam aisle, you know?
I haven't had a chance to go there yet. I'm like shopping while I'm doing this.
You couldn't make it there fast enough, you know, like you got to get to the jam aisle. I got 20 seconds, so Will Bear's time. How you doing, Sherry? Hey,
He's
everybody at
shopping
Stop
too.
and Shop.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I don't know. I was trying to flip the camera. Dave's not feeling well, but
Oh, what's wrong with Dave?
That sign back there.
There you are.
What are you doing, buddy? What's wrong with you, bud?
he has a cold. I guess we're not supposed to like say loud that when someone's not feeling well in a public
I'm
place.
calling the
these
Stop
days,
and
yeah,
Shop. Which
it's like-
Stop and Shop are you at? I'm calling the manager. Have you guys ejected?
We're at Main Avenue in Norwalk. If anyone wants to come get our autograph.
Not for long. No dinosaur suits this time.
I can't find. Oh yeah, hang on. I found the ice cream that I wish I could like. That's really awkward. I can't. I'm trying to like reach things on the top shelf.
Just climb the shelf.
I can't believe that we're watching Sherry inside a cooler.
That's right.
Like actually go inside the cooler to get something. This is a
phenomenal.
special moment.
This is what
Sherry,
I eat.
get on with your shopping. If you guys get home in time, I'll see you on the show. Otherwise, I'll see you next week.
Ben and Jerry's. It's a non-day. I can't even like see what I'm doing.
Chubby Hubby. Sounds good to me.
Chubby hubby. What did you call Dave? That's not nice.
Exactly. No, I was in Colorado. I was talking to my friends in Colorado. We came up with a name for a band. It was what was it? It was Chubby Husband and the Fat Vegans was the name of the band.
Oh.
Wow.
'Cause
That's
everybody's
a name I
vegan.
would never remember.
Yeah, a lot of it.
Does anyone need eggs? Or?
Yes. There's a lot of money in eggs these days.
Yeah.
All right, Sherry, get on with your shopping. We'll see you soon.
All right, bye guys.
I need everything.
Bye-bye.
Oh my God.
I have the classic bachelor's refrigerator, just empty. I have
Really?
ice. Yeah. Well, I have a sandwich for tonight.
I stock my fridge like a professional kitchen. I can make any one of 50 meals
That does
in
not
a
surprise me.
20-minute notice in my plate.
Yeah, that does not surprise me, given the stuff that you show on your. I always want to do a parody of what you put out, showing what's on your plate,
That's what I
such and
should
such
do, a
with
parody.
cumin and with like Pop Tart with French fries on the side, and with a
I'm
mint.
really sorry. Have you ever noticed that on the food pictures that I post, sometimes there's an olive? You ever noticed? You never noticed the olive? It was too subtle.
Yeah.
So that comes from Bill Nolan, because Bill Nolan made a comment one day, and he was like, "I kind of like the things you post and whatever, but I hate olives." And so I
So
put
you're
an
like,
olive in
"Ah."
everything I made for the next 100 dishes, and posted. But he never noticed. Nobody noticed the olive.
No.
My
Well,
own private
now.
joke.
Now that you said it, we'll see it every time.
My own private joke. Well, nice job, Will Bear. Thank you for playing for us.
It was
Great, Rob.
always my
Thank
pleasure.
you.
I love playing on Jam TV.
Yeah. It's so funny that you played that for your last song, because that kind of segues into what
That's a
Dennis,
segue.
It
this
kinda
is
does.
true. This
Yeah.
is true. This is
Yeah.
true.
Dennis
We're good.
worked real hard on this project where he put together a bunch of performances of us doing Sweet Child Mine, and he, put different, when we were doing it down at Freeze Park at the Jam, and then when we first started, like back in the pandemic, when we were all like in our base with bad internet connections, that thing, and he just kind of went from one to another to when we were playing at the thing that Dave Roard did out in Westport, the Westport stage, and we played it there, and Dennis kind of like pieced them all together and stuff. It was pretty cool.
That's
So
cool.
and it features Sweet Child of Mine, and that's what you just finished. with.
Yeah, that's what
We're going.
yeah,
Isn't it funny that he picked that song?
That's why I asked how many songs do you know? The thousands you know. You picked that song.
Yeah, that's true.
Very
Of, yeah,
That's the
of
night
all the
for it,
fish
I
in the
guess.
universe.
Very funny.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back with that. We'll be right back after this.
Okay. It just makes
dancing
you
in the
want to do that.
background. But Will Baird is doing a studio changeover. He's putting his guitar down. He's like, poor guy. Like Bill Nolan has always opened the show and done like 4 or 5 songs in the first half an hour. Now it's turned into the first 45 minutes or whatever. And Will Baird is sitting there with his guitar on a stool. Like I don't know how he does it. You know, like he's sitting there looking all composed. And today he was like, could I not sit there for the whole show? I'm like, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to switch you up and you're going to do a location change in your studio. So he'll be back.
Okay.
So what did you guys put together? Tell me about it.
So we did Sweet Child of Mine originally sometime last year. Not this summer, the summer before, I think it was.
It was pandemic, the first one, right, Dennis?
Yeah, it was during
the first pandemic. Oh,
yeah, the first pandemic. And so
Alphacron.
I was listening to it, and the things were off just a little bit here and there. So I thought I had to remix that. So I remixed the audio on it, and then just for fun, I started throwing some other videos on there, and just had a fun time putting it together.
That's cool.
In the meantime, we played we played Freeze Park, and then we played Westport up there, and then just some random pictures of us.
And then he threw in a picture of us down at Tavern 7 hanging out with David Sherry and stuff. And it was like when everybody had to eat outside. So, and the waitresses walked around the mats and stuff. So it was all very, kind of brings you from start to finish. All
right, we're going to watch it. With no further ado, here it comes.
Yeah.
Here it comes. You want to? What are you titling it?
Sweet Child of Mine remix.
All right, here we go.
1.7B.
Here comes the remix. All right, here we go.
The remix.
go now?
Nice.
Sweet. That was fun.
Brought back some memories. I remember we used to drive you crazy with names. Like, I can never remember your name. What do you guys call each other? Control, Alt, Delete, Alt this, Alt that. We used to drive you bananas. So we're always changing your name around.
Yeah. The first 10 videos were a different name every time we played them.
Yeah. And
Oh, that was great video, really cool.
Dennis did a great job with it, you know, and it's so funny. It brings back like a lot of the old pandemic stuff, and it kind of goes to like.
I miss
Yeah,
doing the
little
videos. I
foursquare.
miss doing the. You know, I guess
Yeah.
we got to wait until the like. I don't want to say there's going to be an uptick in COVID this fall. I mean, I think there might be,
Right.
but
They're never going to shut down like that again, though.
no, I hope not. And
No.
but you know, it's going to be cold, and there're going to be snowstorms. And let's all agree right now that when the first big snowstorm hits, we'll all make a collaborative video. We'll be stuck inside.
That'd be fun. Yeah, sure. I'm
Yeah.
down. Hey, Dennis, I'm supposed to remind you about pushing Freeze Park.
Oh,
Next
yeah.
week is the last one, right?
It's
Yeah.
Next week is the last
Next
one.
week is the last one.
That's it.
At
So.
Freeze Park in Norwalk. For those of you who don't know, that Dave Lindsay and this crowd does a great jam there. It's Houston Night Jam crowd, and they got one more. I can't believe it. Like that's
The end of the season.
really. It's one more.
Yeah,
You know,
one more.
it's so funny. I was there last week, and I got up and I did a couple songs, and there was 2 drum kits on stage, and I got up and I got up with Hank and Dave, and Hank sat down drum kit, and then I guess Barry Ernst, I forget his name, jumps up next to Hank, and Hank can't see, so he doesn't realize there's another drummer next to him, you know. And then Steve Ivitable jumps up with the keyboards, and we start jamming. It sounds good, and Hank is going bananas. He can't figure out why his drum set's echoing, and then he realizes that there's a guy sitting next to him playing drums. It was great. But it was really cool. I'd never played with 2 drummers before like that. I guess the Dead do that a lot. Now all the brothers do it. But
Yeah.
to actually have 2 drummers behind you, it was pretty cool.
That's
It was
cool.
a lot of fun.
I'll see if I can make it on Tuesday. You know, that
Yeah,
sounds
make
like a
it
good
down.
time.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I know Dave is promoted it heavily. He wants a lot of people to be there for the finale. And,
All right, so not to give away the quiz right now, but does anybody know what's happening down here? The
That's
Illinois
the
zucchini
name of it.
mangler. I have a feeling I know who that is.
the Illinois
I'm not
zucchini
sure.
mangler?
Yeah, there's
Yeah, they're
somebody
making
mangling. I
zucchini.
don't know who that is. This is called Jam TV
Yeah.
is spun out of control. We got
Somebody
somebody.
outside of Chicago is evil and making zucchini pies.
I just wonder who's in their evil lair. Like
Their evil lair.
So,
my vote is it's Dave Lindsay. That's my vote. That looks like a Lindsay move.
Oh my God.
no, it looks like he has a shirt on, though.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
Dave
Like
Lindsay
hard to
tank top.
say. Like so, has anybody been to his kitchen and knows the countertop there?
It's not familiar to me.
Because like I'm kind of digging whatever's happening here with the let's see whatever's going on
So
with
after
this
you cook the
zucchini.
zucchini through that thing, how do you cook it? Do you bake it?
I don't know, but it's like maybe
like
the most
spaghetti to
awesome
me.
thing I've ever seen. You know?
Oh, you fry it with garlic and oil. Oh my
yeah.
God. That's looking
Butter,
better
olive
already.
oil, and butter in the pan. This. Oh wow.
Oh,
Oh,
and
and
shrimp. Oh,
Shrimp,
the ultimate keto fest.
looking good.
That's why he won't
That's
tell us who it
awesome.
is. We'd all show up.
Chock full of nuts coffee. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who the Illinois zucchini mangler is, but I suspect it's Dave Lindsay.
I'm hungry. I gotta eat again now.
You're making me hungry now. Pretty amazing. So, are you guys playing? Is your band playing Tommy anywhere?
We've been playing a lot. We just did the farmers market up in Monroe.
Oh wow, what's that like?
That was fun. It's like my first gazebo gig. I'd never played in a gazebo before.
Wow, really?
And we did it 3 o'clock in the afternoon to like
Lindsay.
Dave Lindsay, and it was great. It was like they had like all the local farmers there and wine. So I bought bottles of wine. I bought gazpacho, that cold tomato soup I love so much, and there were a lot of people there, and there were like a lot of great stuff, and it was a lot of fun. It was great. So we're gonna do that again on the 30th of September, and then we do Carl Anthony's, and there's some other stuff we're trying to book, but yeah, we've been a lot busier than I thought we would. We're actually having a pretty good year. I thought things are really starting to pick up again. So I'm excited. It's pretty good.
Yeah, well, that's good. And I see you were at Dave Lindsay's jam. Lindsay, what are you doing there?
I'm mangling zucchinis. What else would I be doing?
What are you making? How do you gonna fry that up in that pan?
So did you fry it up with olive oil and garlic and what else?
Yeah.
Is it in the pan?
Just some butter, butter, garlic, olive oil. The shrimp are going in next, and then the zucchini's going on top.
That's nice. Are you doing the whole keto thing? Is that
tonight I am apparently, yeah.
Nice.
Welcome to
Good.
Ed's
That's awesome. I
cooking
bet
show.
that's gonna be delicious. So
But it was a
you've
rare
obviously started-
opportunity because Ed, you didn't send me the link tonight.
Oh, I didn't. It was an oversight. No, I for some reason
it's all
it didn't go.
good. And so
How'd you
Dennis
get it? How'd you get it?
No
I
idea.
can't reveal my sources.
Which one of you turncoats let him in?
So David, you saw us heavily promoting the last finale of the Tuesday Night Jam, right?
Yeah.
I can't believe it's the last one. Did you get rained out ever? Except
No, not one.
you got rained out
Not
the
one.
one time when it didn't rain, right?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't call that rained out. We canceled that night, but
And then it didn't rain.
There's been like 3 nights where the radar says it's gonna pour, and we're like, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it, and it never showed up. So we've learned over the years that what the weather says doesn't always apply to Freeze Park. So.
Okay, so they say that, China's experiencing the worst drought in history. Europe is experiencing the worst drought. The United States is experiencing the worst drought in history. It's an absolute catastrophe. But follow the money. The Tuesday Night Jam has not been canceled once this year. Who could be
Follow the
behind
money.
this drought?
The money.
Who's responsible for this drought?
Let them eat shrimp.
Who benefits? Look who benefits from this worldwide drought.
Yeah, follow the money.
The Tuesday Night Jam, they figured out how to make it not rain anywhere. The end of the human race and the planet Earth, and Dave Lindsay's Jam is doing great.
We have had some COVID at the jam. No monkeypox, as far as I know, and no polio.
I almost got the COVID at your jam. I typhoid Sherry hugged me at your jam, but I didn't get it.
About your jams, every time I got there up and sang, I never brought my own microphone, even though I was reading that you should.
That's right.
Yeah.
I used to be so paranoid about this stuff, and now I don't even care.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we did that. We did that heavily last year because
I
we were
remember
in the thick of it. This year things seem to be better,
that.
at least anecdotally. I don't know about the numbers, but
Yeah. I don't care. I got it for the first time after 2.5 years, like 6 weeks ago. I got it.
No, you got it.
I actually got it, and I didn't even know it. All it was for me was a runny nose, and I was sneezing a lot. It was like no big deal.
No.
But I was like, after 2.5 years of going to bars, going to restaurants, gigging out, hanging out with people, doing all that stuff, and then I got it. I couldn't believe it. I was laughing. I'm like, now I get it after 2.5 years. Are you kidding me? I thought it was
impervious.
new. I could donate my blood.
I have avoided it up until this point. I'm one of the great minority who've avoided it.
Yeah.
Well, I keep doing this. It's not because I have a cold. I forgot to shave my mustache for the last 2 days. It's going this way.
Yeah, don't be going like this. I don't want to see
Yeah,
that.
that's right. No, no close-ups,
I think
please.
Dennis is the master, the COVID master. We got to
Oh,
all
I'll
back.
tell you.
Yeah. No, man. Dennis
Let me
went
tell you what not to do.
Dennis is the expert.
What not to do. How to get COVID.
Man, the force was strong with Obi-Wan Kenobi, man. He made it.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
crazy, man. You're one tough son of a bitch, Dennis. I gotta hand it to you, man. Really.
Yeah,
I'm glad you. I'm
just
glad you.
willpower.
Yeah, you're great. You're great.
All right,
What's
I got
going
a
on,
video.
Ed? How are you doing?
I'm
Will,
doing
how you
great.
doing?
I'm doing fine. I had a gig yesterday with Soul Daddy down in Stanford. That was fun. I went,
Yep.
I went and saw a concert. I'm not really a concert goer. Like, I don't go out and see concerts, but I have seen Santana about 5 times, and now I saw him again at Woodstock in Bethel Woods.
Oh, that's
Nice.
cool.
That was a good time. I did that the other night. And I got a few gigs coming up with Hot Rubber Monkey Band. Like, the lead singer fell off a chair and busted his shoulder, needed surgery. So
Oh, jeez.
he's better now. And so we're
That's
going to start
bad.
playing. We're picking up some gigs this fall. And we're doing the Westport Lobster Fest on Campo Beach
Cool.
coming up in September. And I'm at Porch Fest. So if anybody wants to come this Saturday at 2 o'clock, I'm down near the Norden Club, a block up from the Norden Club, with Mill River Band. So, I'm playing a little bit.
What area is the Norden Club in?
So it's on the water. If you look up the Norden Club, I think it's a Swedish club, and it's sort of St. Mary by the Sea. It's where they do it's where they do in Black Rock the Porch Fest, and they're down on the water, and we're one up the Barge Canal or whatever that is there. We're one house up from the Norden Club.
Is that Sweden or Switzerland?
Isn't it a great feeling to look
Swedish
at your
chef.
calendar and have gigs like ahead?
Yeah.
To go like, I got a bunch. This is great. It's
Hey,
like
when you
well,
played down
in
at Harbor
addition-
Point, you played in front of a coffee shop?
Hang on, say that again, Tommy.
You're playing in front of a coffee shop in Harbor Point?
In Harbor Point, yeah, in front of the
Oh, yeah.
Smoke Coffee Shop or whatever it's called.
You guys got a lot of foot traffic through there? A lot of
Oh
people-
yeah, we played there actually about a month ago with Soul Daddy, and so we had one of our guys lives down there, and so we got his neighbors, 100 people there, and they also
That place gets busy.
they do events and they have movie night afterwards in the square. It's kind of cool down there.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it ended up being a good gig, and it's hot. The first set you're in the direct sunlight,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
a little.
Yeah.
Anybody played the wheel yet? I guess it's the Cisco Brewery.
No, I haven't.
That's supposed to
I
be
was
pretty
down
good.
there. I was down there 2 weeks ago for the first time. It was like an impromptu 39th high school reunion. I went down there.
Yeah.
I hooked up with a bunch of people I hadn't seen since grammar school and junior high. It was really weird. But we went down there and they had this like nice little setup for the band, and PJ Pacifico was sitting there playing with just a guy with the drums. And it was actually it was a good setup. It was nice. A food truck. There was some shade, and it was like that's a great gig. That's a
Very
great
cool. Yeah.
So I'm
I
showing you the
discovered-
logo on my shirt because it's the Cisco Brewery logo.
Oh,
And so I was away last week. I was up in Nantucket, and that's where the original brewery is.
Oh wow.
oh.
And that's when the shirts and everything used to be cool. Now that you can walk down to Stamford and get one, it's kind of lost its appeal to me. But
Expert, somebody from out of state, right?
right, you actually have to go someplace to get a cool T-shirt. I think that raises the bar a little bit.
That's a cool shirt. Joey
Well,
just
I'm
texted me.
The Porch Fest, Ed. I had a really good time. Last year was the first year I was ever there, and we saw you guys and a lot of bands down there. It was a blast. But in addition to promoting next Tuesday, and all you guys should come down, including you, Will. Just get an Uber from Massachusetts, right?
There you go.
It's only 3 hours or so.
I got tickets on Saturday too, so I'm
What
going
are you
to.
doing Saturday? What's that?
We got a Grateful Dead All Stars gig in Milford at Bohemian High. It's a head shop, and I think it's their 5-year anniversary.
That's
So
the
they're
way.
doing a show like all day. So we're doing that 3 to 6, and then I'm sitting in with the Underdogs. That's Jason Brownstein,
Underdog.
Yeah.
Dave Ritz, down at Fiddler's Green on Saturday night.
Wow, what a show.
You just said the name of 3 different songs. Underdog, which was the theme song for the show, Underdog, Saturday Night, and the third one that I don't remember. God, I can't believe my memory is like it lasts 5 seconds. That's as far as it goes.
I just realized I think there's a connection between Head Shops and the Grateful Dead. I don't know if
I think there is some
symbiotic relationship of some sort.
It's funny you should bring up the Underdogs because Joey just texted me. Jason and Cliff are up at Sugar Hollow, and Joey's going to get up with those guys and do a set in a couple minutes.
Oh, right. Yeah, cool.
Jason. I was like, yeah, Joey's about to play with him. Yeah.
Should have him stream in.
Yeah, he gets around, right?
Yeah.
Jason comes to our jam every Tuesday.
Everywhere.
And then he's like, "Oh, can we go on at 8:45 because me and Cliff and this guy, we're going to another jam after this." So, sure thing, man, no problem.
He stays busy.
He's a gigging monkey, man. He loves it. Gigs everywhere. It's like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, have you heard my new CD? Hey, I'm playing here. Hey, I'm playing there. He's constantly on promoting. You know, the machine never stops.
Yeah.
Amazing. Good for him, man. He loves it.
Yeah.
All right, I found a video in Dennis's honor. I don't really know what it is, but it does in big letters say Dennis on it.
This could be really embarrassing, Dennis.
So here it comes. Check this out.
You could charge on
Nice.
Yeah,
Very cool.
that's
Very
the Tommy
cool.
original.
That was nice. That was a nice mix. Dennis.
That's great. That's a great tune.
Yeah, I like the descending bass line, when the turnaround, around at the end of it. It's just very cool, very mellow. Feel good line.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a great tune. I enjoyed that very much.
Oh, thanks.
yeah, it is.
Very cool. All right, so that kind of does it for us on Jam TV tonight. Go see Dave Lindsay Saturday at 3 in Milford at the Head Shop. Whichever one that look up Head Shop in Milford. That would be good. And yeah, go to the Jam on Tuesday. That's all I can say.
Yeah, come on down. Let's have some fun.
Good times.
All right, sounds good. Good to see you guys. We'll see you all on the Jam TV show 120 next week.
120.
And now for Steve Wexler.
Bye.